Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. Yes, we did take a week off because of the extreme heat, and I know almost everybody in this country is going through some extreme weather event in the last few weeks or few months. It is brutally windy out today. I'm just walking up to the top of my property because from the house I can hear branches cracking, trees coming down. It's not what I wanted this video to be about, but I don't like hearing the sound of trees falling. But anyway, you can see the mess. Can you see that? It's extremely windy today. We just got through a heat wave where it got up to 100 degrees 2 days. Now that is not normal for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania does not hit 100 degrees. So that's why we took the week off. And I feel like we still haven't had any rain. Not a drop since I feel like late May. And I know there are other parts of the country. I saw one YouTuber, the poor thing, her gardens are completely flooded. So this is not the best year for gardening. We are still mulching. We're right now actually just trying to keep things alive. Because of that heat last week and now because of the wind, things desiccate really, really quickly in those conditions. And, you know, I am out of the house working 4 days a week. My poor husband, he's here by himself pretty much, and he's been watering by hand every day. Most of our beds are not on any kind of irrigation. Just 2 beds in the front yard. The really dry bed under the Norway maple and the one under the Colorado blue spruce. So whenever we have to water, we have to do it by hand. But anyway, so come garden with me and let's talk a little bit about the direction this channel is going to go, just briefly, while this weather clears up. So I think because it is such a difficult year for gardening, what we're going to do is not take you along so much for planting stuff. We're just going to show you what's doing well in the garden. So it will be lots of walk and talk kind of things. I've noticed a lot of YouTubers are doing that this year. I don't know if it's because they're experiencing some challenges in their gardening as well, but I feel like that's a good idea. It's so difficult planting in our soil. I feel like it's not really video worthy anyway. To be quite honest with you, you know, you just watch us fumbling around, digging holes, trying to get boulders out of the ground. Maybe not the most fun to watch, but some of our stuff's looking really good, so I'd like to just take you around and show you that. I mean, you can see the beautiful coneflowers back there, and the butterfly bushes, our roses are all doing well. So I think that's the direction we're going to go in for a while the hopefully the weather changes and we get some rain, because we don't really want to plant anything anyway, because that's just more to water. And again, since we're doing a lot of this stuff ourselves this year, we never heard from the guy who does our mulch, and I'm not sure why. Maybe he just feels like our yard's too difficult to mulch, and it is. That's why we always hire somebody to do it for us. We're still not even halfway done, so that's putting us behind. We'd like to at least get that finished up. And until we start to get some rain, and it looks like the weather's going to warm up again. So not good on the gardener, not good on the plants. We're just going to keep the plants we have alive in containers, and the parts of the yard that we wanted to transform this year it's just going to take a little bit longer. That's all. As usual, right? It's always a challenge. So let's just walk around for a little bit and I'll show you a few things that are looking good right now. I feel really bad for a lot of plants in my garden. Even the drought tolerant plants like this prairie dropseed grass is drying out. I mean, we cannot hand water everything, so it's unfortunate. Some plants are they're going to have to be left to their own devices. Our grass is really, really brown in spots where it's getting hit with the full sun. But some things are still definitely looking good. I mean, Like I said, my husband comes up and hand waters, and you know, I do what I can. Like I said, I'm out of the house 4 days a week, but I do, other than last week when we both took a break, we do come out and kind of tag team watering on certain days. The Haas Halo looks really good. It's a lot more shady under this tree than it was last year. I feel like, again, I'm attributing everything to the enormous amount of rain we got from December through April. That things have really put on extra growth this year, including this tree that I'm standing under. Even though I do feel like it's on its last leg, it's definitely a lot shadier under here. But the Haas Halo hydrangea up here is looking beautiful with its gorgeous lace cap flowers that are enormous. If I can put my hand there, I mean, you can see how big that is, I think. I mean, it's bigger than my hand, and the pollinators love it. The Olive Bailey Langdon hosta that we planted last year is gorgeous. I love these hostas that have these blue and green leaves. I just love it. And that got really big. That was big when I bought it, but it probably doubled in size this year. Hock and Clover are looking good. What else do we just plant? That's the Shadowland Diamond Lake. That's the Woo La La. This, I think, is the Hope Springs Eternal, which it's a little bit small and unimpressive. I think deer keep stepping on it. This is the Autumn Frost, which looks like it's doing okay. What else? The Broalia. Man, I love this annual. Even with all the drought that we are now in, it's doing great. Although, when my husband was up here the other day, he did water most things up here. Maybe that's what we can talk about. Drought-tolerant plants. I'll tell you what, these Chantilly Lace Goat's Beard, they require a heck of a lot less moisture than the straight species of the Goat's Beard, which we have to water all the time. We hardly even watered these after we planted them. Now, they've been here for probably 3 years. I mean, they're getting desiccated by the wind today, and they look fabulous. What else did we just plant recently? Let's see if I can find the other Goat's Beard to show you. This Haas Halo has been desiccating horribly because of the heat, the lack of moisture. We've watered it, and it comes back, but look at it. It's looking horrible. I'm going to have to get up here and water. You can hear... I'm sure you can hear that wind, and it's just brutal up here. Even the Blue Shadow Fothergilla back there look like they could use a little bit of moisture. But this is the straight species Goat's Beard. It's been in the ground for, I'm not sure, maybe this is the 3rd year. Just hasn't done anything yet. And like I said, we have to provide constant moisture, whereas those Chantilly Lace, they just go. The poor little summer sweet that we planted was destroyed. I don't know if it was by deer or rabbits, but I put a cage over it. It's coming back. We're providing lots of additional moisture, but you know, those pesky creatures. These daylilies we transplanted up here last year have lots of buds on them, so that's nice. The deer haven't eaten them yet. And another reason why we're going to change directions a little bit while the weather clears up is because we haven't had any help with our gardens this year. As I mentioned, we never heard from the guy who does our mulch. And I think because maybe he's getting a little bit tired, we keep expanding every year. I think this year we're already going to be up to, I think my neighbor's going to get us another 3 yards tomorrow, so that will be 12 yards. We're not even halfway done. So I have a feeling we're going to use 25 yards this year. If we get everything done we want to get done this year and next, we'll probably be up to 35 yards by then. So he's just one guy. Maybe he has a little bit of help now and again with a wheelbarrow. And it's a lot of work, but I feel like if that's your job, that's what you do for a living, it shouldn't matter. So, you know, that's something we're having to do ourselves this year, and it's taken a lot of time away from gardening, really. I don't honestly consider mulching part of gardening, but it is for us this year. We are now having to manage a meadow. I should have showed you when I was up there. A lot of the rudbeckia are blooming, and it does look really pretty. There's also lots of grasses. You know, meadow management was not anything that I ever anticipated having to do. Not just, you know, when I started this garden back in 2015, but when I started my YouTube channel. You know, we had lost all of our ash trees. We had them all removed. We had to have some stormwater management done up in what is now the meadow, and had the meadow seeded. And the guy kind of just left us. Okay, you need to mow it for 5-6 times for the next 2 years. And well, he didn't clear the land, so we can't mow it. There's stumps, there's rocks, there's remnants of what looks like maybe an old farm wall up there. I mean, so, you know, my husband he did weed whack it 4 or 5 times last year. It is a lot of work. So finally I just emailed him. Today's Monday. I emailed him on Sunday, and I said, do you think you could come out and take a look at the meadow and maybe send somebody out for the next 3 months and manage it for us? Not really money I have to spend, but sometimes you have to weigh the cost of something literally against the cost of something figuratively. I mean, what is it costing us physically and mentally to take care of all this on our own? So he's going to stop out sometime this week. I hope that takes some pressure off of, or at least takes one thing off of our list for this year. Maybe next year even, we'll see. And I do have the landscaping side of the nursery that I work for. He's sending out 2 guys tomorrow to move the 2 red twig dogwoods for us in our driveway bed where our second dry creek bed is, because they're massive. We're not going to get to it. I'm not here to help my husband. If they're way too big for him to do on his own. So finally, I just said, again, got to weigh the cost literally versus figuratively. Somebody's going to do that for us. It's the same person, actually, who did the fireplace for us. Put up the arbor that I'm standing under, and the patio that I'm standing on, and our patio steps. Maybe, you know, I'll see how much he charges to move the 2 red twigs, and maybe have him do some other work for us too in a couple of months, because it's a lot. We don't have staff. It's just my husband and I. We don't have heavy equipment. So, you know, sometimes you just have to ask for some help. The lime rickeys are good, looking really pretty. Full bloom right now. You can tell which one is the new one because it's never been transplanted. It's a little bit taller than the other 2, which are a little bit more rounded. And in the distance, the Endless Summer Twist and Shout. That just always performs so well for me. And it's intensely blue this year, which I absolutely love. But look at the grass. That's how dry we are. It's just really, it's really been terrible. We had a dry spell last year too, but nothing this bad. Because we weren't as hot last year. I even had to, put a towel over our birdhouse because there's babies nesting in there, and I didn't want them to fry because it can get very, very hot in that birdhouse. And I think one year we did lose a few nesting fledglings, or maybe birds that had just hatched. We didn't want that to happen again, the poor things. But I think they're okay. We have heard them in there. I see the parents coming back and forth, so that's good. The wee white hydrangeas are doing really well. We're keeping them well watered. This is one of the areas we were able to get mulched. This is looking really good. The phlox have not yet gotten powdery mildew, which I'm expecting they will at some point. But they are starting to brown out because, again, it's been incredibly dry. Echinops are blooming. I did come through the other day and deadhead the roses, the Queen of Swedens. They were done, but you can see that little bit of red in there. That's new growth. I don't know that they're exactly new buds, but at least it's new growth. Let's see the other one in here, and look, the lilies are blooming. I think they're Asiatic. Yeah, the other one, I mean, you can see all that red. That's new growth. The lupins have not had a nice time of it with this heat and the lack of rain. I don't know if that one's going to come back, unfortunately. This one down here is looking worse than it was last week as well, after being hit with all that 96, 98, 99, 100 degree weather. So what else is looking good? The St. John's wort, the floral berry pinot. I wish I could find another one of these. I'm hoping to. I'll be on the hunt for another one. Maybe for the other side where we planted up the Thin Man bed. I feel like if you watch that video, I said we do need some shrubbery interest there. I don't want to rush it, but I would like another one of these. It's beautiful. I did deadhead our rose standard too, and it looks like it could probably be deadheaded a little bit more. This one is supposed to be self-cleaning, so in order to get more blooms, I shouldn't have to deadhead, but it just makes them look nicer. These have dried out just from the wind today, all this. I just had to stop while I started to film this video at the top of the property you just saw, and I noticed how some things were just so horribly dried out up there because of the wind. I mean, look, this is even broken because of the wind today, that I had to stop and water up there. Some stuff is just incredibly desiccated, even though we've been watering. Stackies is looking really pretty at this time of the year. Our poor little Let's Dance Blue Jangles is not liking being planted at this time of the year with really high temperatures and not enough, no rain whatsoever. We keep it watered, but it tends to look like this during the day. More stackies, but this Let's Dance Blue Jangles that is well established is doing absolutely brilliantly. I love all the colors on it. The last couple of years it bloomed all pink. I added some soil acidifier this year, and it's all various different colors, and I actually love it. So that's looking beautiful. I had posted something on Instagram about this part of the garden right here. Just this little shady spot with the boxwoods and the water slide hostas, the endless summer twist and shout hydrangea, caramel heuchera. I just really love this little shady area here. And with our laurel in the back that's getting bigger, which I like because I do hope someday it grows big enough to block my neighbor's treehouse completely. We did prune up a little bit the Norway spruce branches here because they were growing right down over the hydrangeas. So that's lifted everything, and I do feel like when I was bringing the hose down from the opposite side of the property, my husband cut a really big branch back here, which really lifted the canopy of this Norway spruce. So now we have a really big opening here, but I kind of like it because our property goes right up underneath my neighbor's treehouse there. And while I don't plan on bringing any of my landscaping right back there, I do plan on landscaping around this crabapple. This is the royal raindrops I planted last fall. I would like some evergreens behind the crabapple. Nothing that's going to get incredibly large. I've been toying with, what have I been thinking about for there? Green giants, maybe just one cryptomeria radicans. But I actually think I would like 3 Allegheny viburnums, which are evergreen. They're like the leather leaf viburnums. I just really like the way they look. They can get, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet tall, which I think would be plenty tall for some privacy there. Let me know what you think. Let's go look over here because this is the only part that's been mulched. The lemon squeeze pennisetum. They don't seem to mind the heat. I wonder if I should take the cloche off of this one. It's growing out of it. It's kind of stapled back into the ground, so I'll just leave it there just in case we need it. These coneflowers in our backyard do not seem to have been affected, at least not yet, by aster yellows. Most of our coneflowers up front are showing symptoms. My husband won't listen to me that they need to be dug out and thrown away. But that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. I feel like the Miss Ruby needs to be deadheaded again already. I have a post getting ready to go up on TikTok about how to prune butterfly bushes. So for this one, I don't see any new buds forming yet, but I would take this, try not to kill myself, this I will take down to the next set of branches. So right here, you can see that. So you see 1, 2, 3. I would take that all the way down to there because there's already 2 branches, and I have a feeling that 2 more buds are going to form there. Again, here there's 1, 2, 3. 3 blooms. I'm going to cut that back to the next set of leaves. Don't be afraid to prune your butterfly bushes. They actually, or deadhead them, they actually benefit from it. And these all already need to be deadheaded. Some more beautiful coneflowers. They spread vigorously. This one's just growing out of this gold cypress. This macrophylla hydrangea is blooming purple. I really like that. A couple of years it bloomed blue. Now it's like pinkish purple. That's kind of neat. And of course these tiger lilies, ditch lilies, whatever you want to call them, that we just can't seem to get rid of. They're pretty for a while and then they kind of get nuts. And I had a salvia come back. This is an annual salvia. I think it's like Cathedral Spires or something from Monrovia. It was gorgeous last year. Beautiful blue. You can see how deep blue that is. So it came back this year, which I'm really excited about. And the poor crocosmia, which is ready to bloom, is being blown over. I'm gonna have to go get a stake for that because I really don't want to lose it. Costas are all looking great, and the Carex Bull is golden in here despite the lack of moisture. The Astilbe is still blooming, but it still provides some beauty. So I think I'm going to end the video here, guys. I always love this view. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll continue to follow along with us as we just kind of do garden tours and show you what's looking good until we get some better weather and we can start planting again. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye.